Good morning. Let's take a look at yesterday. Any green screens? It was a day of near misses yesterday for me, to be honest. I was waiting for draws to occur at half-time, particularly the Montenegro match against 200th in the world, Gibraltar. But Montenegro decided to get the goal before half-time, which was a little annoying because the draw odds were getting very, very respectably low for the lay. Slovakia and Northern Ireland, this was a must-win for both of these two sides, more so for Northern Ireland because now the gap is, I think, untenable. It was, I think, 9 points or 6, 9 points each, 9 points and 6 points. So 9 points to Slovakia, 6 points to Northern Ireland. So Northern Ireland had to win. So they'd get up to 9 points, but now Slovakia's win. They're up to 12, Northern Ireland remain on 6. And it's only by a single goal. They did actually beat Slovakia 2-0, Northern Ireland, the only side in the last 4 matches to actually score a goal, which is why you'll see I back the draw a little bit later, just in case Northern Ireland turned up with that goal, because it's a rarity to score against Slovakia in this particular group. Let's take a quick look through the matches. I didn't remember the Finland-Malta one, but that, again, is terminal for the Finns. All dependent on when Malta scored, they would have had to be layable all day long. The Finns in third place had to get a win. 0-0 at half-time, potentially, because they had to get the win. You could have laid that. 84th minute Grek goal. Could have been an angle in here. Now this is worrying. So many substitutions, including Timo Pukki, suggested that the manager underestimated the Maltese, or the Maltesers. Delicious. So 81st minute, your only real angle there was to lay the late Maltese goal, because Finland had to do something, and with 9 minutes in extra time with home advantage, possibility that they could have laid the draw like the Slovakian match in the expectation that the Finns would score first. So an interesting one that the Finns have shot themselves in the foot. That was an eminently winnable match, and it's all down to nerves. It has to be. But the gap in quality between the two sides is marked. Croatia and Faroe Islands, well, the Faroe Islands scored first. That's your angle in. But the problem is, at 1-1, even at 1-1, Croatia were only 1.25. Angles in, potential first half goals 2.5. You got a quick response from Croatia, so that would have got that one moving. But sometimes you have to just say, yes, I can call it correctly, but there's absolutely no value in the market for me. 1.25 at 1-1. Yes, value's in the eye of the beholder. Eventually, 3-1 win. Spot on with the 1.07, isn't it? Gibraltar and Montenegro. Again, the Gibraltar scored first. A really good angle. And frustratingly for me, Montenegro, I think, got the winner before half-time, because that draw was getting lower and lower. Luxembourg and Germany. Well, Luxembourg beat Germany 2-0 prior. Draw at half-time. You could have laid the draw second half there. Poland and the Netherlands. Good performance from the Poles, to be honest. They'd take a draw. They would take a draw to remain in the top two in the group. And, well, Northern Ireland, you'll see the standings. It's bitterly disappointing. Lovely home counties, or the home countries to do something. You can see the swing at 9-6. It was a must win for the Northern Irish. Now they're stuck. They're playing Luxembourg and they can't catch Slovakia. A single goal, even a draw would have helped. That would have got them to 10 and would have got Northern Ireland to 7. And that is reachable with a win if Slovakia lose the next match. So, bitterly disappointed. The Swiss have just been like clockwork. Park the Toblerone in front of the goal. Yet to concede. Watch them in the World Cup 2026. They could be. If they can get a decent striker to match that defence, they could be a force to be reckoned with. How about the Kosovans? Fantastic stuff for them. They are guaranteed second place, aren't they? This is the final match in this international break. They can't be caught. So fabulous stuff from the Kosovans. Magnificent. The Danes and the Scots going to have this fight out in their next match. But we've got a small matter of the Scots playing Greece today. Where are yesterday's? Let's have a look. The Netherlands on 17, Poland on 14. So Poland will take that draw to remain 4 points above Finland, who had to win. They would have been on 13 points. And I think they're done, aren't they? Ah, ouch. That was about it, really, yesterday. Borat's boys couldn't get the job done. And Croatia, well, they got the win yesterday, but it's still, well, is it over for the Faroe Islands? Have they exhausted their matches? I'm not sure. But the Czechs on the 17th are playing Gibraltar, and that's a guaranteed 3 points there. And today's trading angles, just to let you know, these videos will be a little late now. I'm on English time. Okay, I don't have the advantage of a 6-7 hour head start that I do have in Thailand. So you'll get these videos probably mid-morning, but in plenty of time, of course, for the day's football. Let's have a look at today's trading angles. Well, usually this is reserved for members, but I'll show you what's caught my eye. We're talking of Borat's boys. They're playing Belgium today. They can't qualify for the World Cup anymore. 6-0 defeat last head-to-head is about on par with that 1.18, which normally suggests 0-3, 1-3, any other away score. So that's bang on the button there. Belgians need to win one of 2 remaining matches, so this is not a must-win, but it's would like to win, so we can rest easy for the last match. A bit like England, you can start to play with some of the peripheral players, try some different tactics, etc. Hopefully Guernsey's Alex Scott will be heading off to the World Cup. That would be magnificent. Cyprus against Austria, 125th in the world against 24th. Who do you think is going to win this one? You don't need to be Wayne Rooney, football genius, to have a firm footing in this match. A win and they qualify for the World Cup for the first time this century. Talk about the carrot for Austria. Talk about the carrot. But Cyprus are out of World Cup contention. They could be a dangerous animal today. 1-0 loss last head-to-head with a 54th minute Austrian penalty. Not very convincing at all. Don't forget, that was at Austria. Recently, Cypriots have improved markedly. They're even scoring 2 goals, for goodness sake. A couple of 2-2s against Bosnia and Romania and a win against San Marino. So they are unbeaten in the last 3, scoring goals as well. And they're defensively stout. At least they were against the Austrians, but they have been conceding 2 recently against Bosnia and Romania. That could be their Achilles heel today. But expect a fully motivated Austrian side. And again, if it's a 0-0 at half-time, got the possibility of taking that on, as would have been the case yesterday. Must-wins tend to get the result. Georgia against the Spanish. Trouble securing second place since a couple of consecutive defeats for the Georgians, 70th in the world. Not out of it, but good luck against the world number ones, who are on an unbeaten run of 29, which is quite something. Now, if it was an unbeaten run of 30, that would probably be playing on their mind a bit more, a rounded figure like that. You have tended to see sides cock it up when they've got a magnificent long sequence, and it's a crucial match to continue the sequence to make a historic set of results, and they fall foul. So watch out for the Spaniards. A win may guarantee their qualification. 2-0 win last head-to-head. So this could be a routine win. So just look out for that. Liechtenstein against the Welsh. You don't have to be Wayne Rooney, football genius, to suggest the Dragons will have a real shot. They must win. They will win. Goal difference might be important here. So expect the Welsh, I think, to try and fill their boots. Could score 4 goals at least, but they must start collecting goals against Liechtenstein. North Macedonia are the team they're struggling with for that second place. So goal difference could be the key. Turkey against Bulgaria. Well, old Uncle Bulgaria are already eliminated. They've got nothing to play for, which could be a hindrance for the Turks playing freely. But first place might be out of reach for Turkey, but not mathematically so. 3 points, of course, would be very, very useful. And a 1-6 head-to-head win at Bulgaria suggests the Turks' dominance here. Over 5.5 goals for the adventurous amongst you, particularly if it's 0-0 after 15 minutes. Bosnia against Romania, 2.4 the favourites. So just be a little cautious with this one. Could be one to avoid. Top two confirmed with a win for Bosnia and Herzegovina. Must avoid defeat to keep hopes alive for Romania. 1-0 win against Austria is the eye catcher for Romania. If they can replicate that kind of defensive form, get the single goal, a la Tony Pulis, then it could be up and running. Denmark against Belarus. Well, I've got a feeling in my water that Denmark might just pull this one off here. A win today sees the Danes requiring only a draw against the Scots when they meet. And that's going to be difficult because I think it's in Glasgow. So good luck with that for the Danes. If they can cover the draw, that's fine. At least they'll go for a draw and a win. 2 out of 3 match odds results. Belarus, all defeats, tending to concede 2 goals. So that's something the Danes should be aiming for today. 6-0 loss in the last head-to-head. It should be as emphatic today. You could even lump all of these 1.07 shots and lower, put them into an over 5.5 goal accumulator just for a bit of fun. Greece against Scotland. It's not a must win for the Scots. It's a must. It's a would like to get a point or 3 on the board to make our match with the Danes in Glasgow a little less important. The Greeks are eliminated, which is very, very disappointing. They were very solid against the Scots, despite that 3-1 Scottish win. If you watch the match, it was hoof the ball into the box. We've got 9 Scottish players in the 6-yard box. That's how 2 of the goals were got. So it's the Greeks played beautiful football. I think they're a side for the 2030 World Cup because the youngsters, very, very talented. Maybe they'll be embedded come 2030 and the Greeks could be a force. But defensively, really weak. That 3-1 win, it's not an accurate reflection of how well the Greeks were playing. They really were eye-catching. So we might not see the result we expect from the Scots today, but they are guaranteed top 2. Slovenia against Kosovo. Well, Kosovo are really doing a fabulous job, aren't they? 3 consecutive clean sheets for them. Very slim chance of a top 2 berth for the Slovenians, but they must get the win. It's one of those matches like you get at the end of the season, playoff place against a side just outside the playoff place. You must take points off your nearest rival. It's as simple as that for Slovenia. When you have a must-win element, that draw, of course, is layable second half. But do remember, 0-0 last head-to-head. You might want to lay over 0.5 goals at the start of the match at its lowest odds. And if it remains 0-0 at half-time, you can even create for yourself a risk-free play in the second half. The Swiss park the Toblerone, stick a couple of cuckoo clocks in front of goal. They are very tough to score against. Kosovo are the current rival for the top spot, 3 points shy. Sweden will need Kosovo to conveniently lose and for the Swedes to suddenly win. That takes them to 4 points, with Kosovo currently on 7. So it's vitally important for the Swedes, but this Swiss thou shalt not pass is going to make it extremely difficult for the Swedes. You could even lay over 0.5 goals at the start of the match because the Swedes will be looking to keep the Swiss out, and the Swiss are adept at keeping teams out. And you're not going to lose any liability, let's be honest, laying over 0.5 goals at the very start of the match. It's the same as backing 0-0. XG analysis, well, I'm not sure it's wholly relevant for these matches. As a trader, your angles in are the must-win element, so those 0-0s at half-time. It's not really something we need to be dwelling upon, expected goals. It's all factored in within the odds, aren't they? 1.03, you know what your expected goals are, don't you? 4+. But, well, I'll show you a website, if I can keep this mouse from jumping. I'll show you a website where you can look at the expected goals. It's called xgscore.io. You've got the World Cup qualifiers here. So Belgium against Borat's boys. Let's have a look. So are these stats going to show up? I will predicted score. So that's interesting, isn't it? Looking at a 2-0, 2-1 predicted score. So that's something for you to think about. I'll just wait for the page to populate. It looks like it's taking a little while, unless they don't have stats for internationals. So that's the preview. This is more like it. Okay, this could be an interesting website if you like your XGs. This is Kazakhstan against Belgium, and you see the total at the bottom, which is the average. 0.7 scored, 1.6 conceded. That's not good enough. And that is your archetypal 0-1, isn't it? Or 1-2. You can see that occurring quite a lot. 3.2 scored, 0.8 conceded. That's your 3-1 scoreline, isn't it? Or variants thereof. The reason that's gone up a little bit is because they've conceded 5 goals in a couple of matches against Wales. That's the reason the concession rate is up. So this gives you an idea of the expected scoreline, doesn't it? If the average expected goals metrics are accurate. So you're looking at something like a 3-0, 3-1, and the possibility of conceding at least 2 goals for Kazakhstan. So when the metrics match, 0.7 expected goals to score, 0.8 conceded, possibility of a goal from Borat's boys, but 1.6 conceded against 3.2 scored, you're looking at 2 goals at the very minimum conceded by Kazakhstan today. So that's how I would use my expected goals metrics. This is probably a little bit more detail. Home for the home side, away for the away side. And it's suddenly a little bit different, isn't it? A little more tighter away from home for the Belgians, but still more struggles to score for Kazakhstan. And the conceding rate could suggest away from home the Belgians might be a little bit more tentative. And again, these are the same metrics as earlier. Similar opponents. So I wonder how they're measuring the similar opponents. And you can see that 2-0, 2-1 scoreline in the negative for Kazakhstan. And again, the 2-0, 2-1 scoreline there. So you're expecting the Belgians to score at least 1 goal more than their opponent. So that's something for you to look at, the xgscore.io World Cup qualifiers. I think if I were to focus on this each day, I would start to pick up how to read the expected goals a lot clearer. But you get an idea, don't you? It's a good metric for suggesting a correct score for you and the minimum amount of goals that the side like Belgium should be scoring. But as I said to you, it's all factored in to the market, isn't it? All factored in. If we get the odds, 1.18, that's how I read the expected goals. 3+ expected, 4 bare minimum expected, and a potential win to 0. So it's all factored in. English League 1, English League 2, you know my feelings about these leagues. I would primarily be focusing on odds on favourites. So we've got a few here. It's not a competition to really hang your hat on, is it? Time and time again, we are just let down by these leagues. Despite the in-play stats being absolutely emphatically in favour of one side, they end up losing 0-2. You know what I mean? So I will be looking at these at 3 o'clock for you, but please don't expect an avalanche of trades from English League 1, English League 2. These are not the most tradable leagues on the planet or the most trustworthy. Well, have a great day today. I will see members from 3 o'clock or thereabouts. Got to keep this below 20 minutes. Have a great day.